Now, let's take you back to some recent reports from the United Nations on the situation in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Talking about the humanitarian response plan, report says the 2024 Cameroon's humanitarian response plan requires 371.4 million US dollars to reach 2.3 million people in urgent need of humanitarian assistance. And we wonder, how many people has this gotten to? What's the plan for these budgets to get across to the refugees that need them? As we know, refugees are seeking for succor in IDP homes sponsored by the Amazonian government. So we're asking, who manages these funds? Who monitors? Who accounts for these funds? And how is it even distributed? Well, insecurity and violence in Ambazonia have led to over 50,000 displacement, with around 2 million people fleeing violence in Ambazonia only between February 16th and 26th. Access to healthcare insecurity hampering access to healthcare, with incidents of violence against healthcare personnel and infrastructure reported in Ambazonians, as well as insecurity and massacres even in healthcare facilities. A lot has been happening with the war. The IED explosions in Nkambe on February 11th, which killed one person, injuring over 100 other persons, with humanitarian actors providing relief and support. There has been reported massacres all across the now destroyed villages and towns in Ambazonia. We talk about gender-based violence, where women and girls are exposed to gender-based violence in crisis-affected areas, with sexual abuses, harassment on the increase, with humanitarian actors not being able to provide support and services to these survivors. Taking a look at the amount that was even estimated for 2.3 persons, over 300 million US dollars. We're wondering, how can there be an end or an aid for these people? How can this aid come about? Because on a daily basis, refugees, Ambazonians who have to become homeless due to even arsons and the effects of this war, they get to face these challenges. How do they get this help? The ongoing conflict in Ambazonia, southern Cameroon, has led to the displacement of over 2 million southern Cameroons since 2016, creating a severe humanitarian crisis. The situation is poorly reported due to government-imposed intimidation, with official figures significantly underestimating the actual number of refugees. Internally, many Ambazonians are forced to relocate to less affected areas, putting a strain on local resources. Externally, refugees like in neighboring countries like Nigeria face extreme hardship, including limited healthcare, food insecurity, and scarce economic opportunities. Humanitarian aid has been insufficient in addressing these needs. Efforts by the President Samuel Ikome Sako, and his government in exile, and international aid, including substantial contributions from the United States, help most times to mitigate some of the immediate suffering. However, global awareness and support remains inadequate, which worsens the crisis. Going to statistics, they reveal that over 50,000 deaths and extensive displacements, with significant issues such as inadequate shelter for many refugees, limited access to health care, disrupted education for children, and prevalent gender-based violence. Urgent global action is certainly needed to support sustainable solutions, uphold human rights, and work towards a resolution to the conflict.